Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dark Phoenix Gaming, and you are watching Kaiserreich as the Netherlands. Now we're just sort of ticking along and slowly building ourselves up to the point where we'll be able to not die if invaded. To that end, while we wait for the political events to start happening for our election this year, I've been going down the army reform tree. The one that's going to let us turtle up and just make Fortress Netherlands for the most part. After we get done with anti-tank guns, the next two I plan to hit up there are number 1, mobilization preparations, and number 2, prepare the inundation lines. Steady defense plans is also a nice one, and the fact that it's giving us 2 research bonuses for Grand Battle Plan. That sort of pushed me down the road of starting the Grand Battle Plan research. I was sort of umming and ahhing between that and possibly superior firepower. But I went with Grand Battle Plan because I have no fucking clue what superior firepower is even about. But the major events we had last time were actually not anything to do with the Netherlands, really. The first one was we had the formation of the Balkan League between Romania, Serbia, and Greece. And them going to war with Bulgaria because they want lands back that they lost during the Weltkrieg. And amusingly, I'm just noticing now, they're also fighting Albania. I'm not sure what happened there. The Balkan League is also at war with Albania, which is bizarre. But there was one other thing that happened last time, right as I was ending the episode. Austria declared war on Hungary. Apparently there was some breakdown of negotiation. It was in the Austro-Hungarian Empire, that's all I can think of. So now, I'm going to unpause the game and hopefully find out what the hell happened. The Austrian Empire is at war with itself. This should be interesting. Crisis on the Danube. During the Austro-Hungarian Augsgleich of 1937, the Austrians promised the autonomous states of their empire to minorities in Transylvania would also receive autonomy. The Hungarians, however, were unwilling to oblige with the dismantlement of their state and privileges within the monarchy. As a consequence, the Austrians have announced their intention to both humiliate Hungary and liberate the Slovaks, Transylvanians, and Ruthenes by force. Already skirmishes have begun along with the Austro-Hungarian border, and time will tell the fate of the former Duke monarchy. The stability of Central Europe is threatened. This breakdown of the Austro-Hungarian Empire seems to happen a lot. Austria always goes with the, they get autonomy thing, and ends up at war with Hungary. And you very rarely see Hungary win that war, though it has happened before. And if you're at all curious, what happens if Hungary wins? Austro-Hungarian Empire is dissolved, and many of Austria's puppet states that remain become fully independent. So that's what we're looking at today. Lhasa has declared war on Jabal Shamar. Pretty sure that's an independence because I don't think they exist. Not that I'm paying much attention to the Middle East, to be honest. The Ottoman Anti-tank guns are now finished. Or the national focus is, rather. So we'll move down mobilization preparations. Revisiting our mobilization timetables and preparations will allow us to be ready for war should the need arise. This will give us the mobilization timetables. National spirit, so we can mobilize faster and are able to mobilize 5% more of our population. 5% doesn't sound a lot, but when we have only a few 100,000 manpower that we can call on at this moment in time, a couple of percent can be absolutely critical. These small percentages really can add up. The Dutch elections. Here they are. With the incidents in Amsterdam and Zwolle still fresh in people's memories, the parliamentary elections are going to be hotly contested this year. The police are out in force to deter would-be troublemakers. The CNA superbloc currently has the strongest parliamentary position, but with the pillars teetering on the brink of destruction and hemorrhaging voters left and right, their superiority at the ballot box is very much in question. However, this links the combination of the left liberals and moderate social democrats can also count on a broad support base, perhaps even enough to dethrone the CNA. There's always the specter of radicalism waiting in the wings. So we have three options. The list links dethrones the CNA juggernaut, social democracy and social liberalism become really popular, and social conservatism loses out. CNA retains its dominance. Moderate right cabinet, or VNH becomes the largest party. VNH, in case you hadn't been keeping up, they're basically the Dutch fascists, is how I would describe them, from what we can tell. Sadly, we don't have the option to elect the communists into power. It might be to do with one of the decisions we took, or that might just be something that doesn't mechanically exist. A communist takeover by election, I mean. But what I am going to do here is the VNH becomes the largest party. Conservatives lose out a bit, and we win as the VNH. Yes, I am putting the Dutch fascists into power. So Company 1 is finished. They'll get the armored car. Yeah, we are putting in the Dutch fascists. I've never played as the Netherlands before, and to be honest, I've expressed that before, but to be honest, we're in a rather bad position at this point. So frankly, it benefits us more to have the authoritarians in power, because if we tried to run this as a democracy, we'd get absolutely shafted, because everything is so horribly stacked against us. At least that's my impression. If I ever play as the Netherlands again, I'll probably try a democratic run just to see if I can't make that work. But this time, we are going authoritarian. VNH electoral victory. In such trying times as these, it's no surprise the people clamor for strong leadership to guide them. The ideals of the VNH have proven to be a strong enough rallying point, and we have trounced every one of our adversaries at the ballot box. Now we take upon ourselves the task of stamping out the specter of international syndicalism and restoring the Netherlands to the status it deserves. This is not going to be an easy road, however. In addition to the Red Menace, the factional party politicians who spend their days chattering away in Parliament will likely be fighting us every step of the way as well, for we lack parliamentary majority. We could assuage their concerns and form a proper coalition with the CNA, if only to pacify the public and make the transition easier, or we could let the landlocked convince Parliament to give us emergency powers. Now, a coalition sounds nice. This is true. But, you see, I think we went through all this trouble to achieve power. Why would we go around sharing it with other inferior political parties, when we could just hold absolute authoritarian power and rule the Netherlands with an iron fist? Mohahahahaha! We will convince them. Parliament intimidation. Intimidation, yeah. And there we have it. The Netherlands is now a dictatorship. Under the absolute rule of the VNH. But not only do we not have a majority, we don't exactly have a massive amount of party popularity among the people, so it's going to take a little while before we can do anything major. And civil war in Spain also. Three-way civil war. The Americans managed to avoid the three-way civil war, but the Spanish did not. Speaking of the Americans, that civil war doesn't appear to be going anywhere. It's like someone takes something else, back and forth, back and forth. They're going to be at it for a while, I think. The Spanish Civil War. Ever since the defeat of Napoleon, Spain has been plagued by violence, dissent, and turmoil. No amount of pleading, deal-making, and appeasement has managed to do more than paper over the cracks as tensions bubbled. Finally, they boiled over. The Spanish kingdom has been ripped apart by a three-sided civil war between numerous factions: the loyalists of the Madrid government, the supporters of the pretender Javier, I don't know how you say that actually, and finally the anarcho-syndicalist CNT-FAI. There are already numerous reports of volunteers and equipment being shipped to Spain from all over the world to support one faction or another. Spain will be torn to shreds as a battlefield for the ideological forces of the wider world. It was inevitable. Yes, it was, and once again, we are not going to involve ourselves in that, because that is a hot mess that I do well to stay clear of. Commune of France as a war justification. They're currently doing. Demand Haute Savoy. They are busy demanding territory from the Swiss. This could go badly if Germany decides that they're going to contest it. So, stop that. You can stop that. And I can find a place to do this at. I'm going to draw up a defensive line over here. I'm hoping this isn't necessary and that Germany will just let the French have that Swiss territory, but indeed they did. That was something that I kind of had to do, just because I didn't want to get caught with my pants down if that turned into an early Weltkrieg. Fortunately, it didn't. The Savoyard crisis resolved. A few days ago, a demand from the Commune of France was telegraphed to the Swiss government. Cede the province of Haute-Savoy under threat of armed coercion. The French characterized their demand as a need to end the persecution of the French population within the province. The Swiss government decided to avoid war and agreed, stating that a peaceful transfer of ownership was preferable to bloodshed. This is a victory for the French government, which has already declared the reclamation a victory for the world's working class. Syndicalism spreads. Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Morgen gaat het beter, beter, beter. Morgen zullen zorgen van vandaag niet meer bestaan. Morgen zijn de spoken van het heden weggevaagd, behoren tot verleden. Morgen gaat het beter, beter, beter. Morgen zal weer alles van een leien dakje gaan.
Does indeed spread.
Gaat het niet zoals het moet, krijg je geen vaste voet. Ga niet in een hoekje zitten treuren. Niemand die op je vet ooit een cent op je zet. Als je piekert om wat kan gebeuren.
I can relocate my troops.
Je nog slecht, morgen komt het terecht. Je moet in jezelf het meest vertrouwen.
Get back to training.
Je verdriet, ach dat helpt je toch niet. Steen voor steen moet je aan je eigen toekomst bouwen.
They're training right on the French border, yes, which may be a bit stupid, but I feel like it. Trench warfare, you be done so. We'll follow that up by getting me support weapons level 2, I think.
Morgen gaat het beter, beter, beter. Morgen zal weer alles van een leien dakje gaan. Morgen gaat het beter, beter, beter. Morgen zal weer alles van een leien dakje gaan. Morgen gaat het beter, beter, beter. Morgen zal weer alles van een leien dakje gaan. Morgen zal weer alles van een leien dakje gaan. Morgen zal weer alles van een leien dakje gaan. Morgen zal weer alles van een leien dakje gaan. Morgen zal weer alles van een leien dakje gaan. Morgen zal weer alles van een leien dakje gaan. Morgen zal weer alles van een leien dakje gaan. Morgen zal weer alles van een leien dakje gaan. Morgen zal weer alles van een leien dakje gaan. Morgen zal weer alles van een leien dakje gaan. Morgen zal weer alles van een leien dakje gaan. Morgen zal weer alles van een leien dakje gaan. Morgen zal weer alles van een leien dakje gaan. Morgen zal weer alles van een leien dakje gaan. Morgen zal weer alles van een leien dakje gaan. Morgen zal weer alles van een leien dakje gaan. Morgen zal weer alles van een leien dakje gaan. Morgen zal weer alles van een leien dakje gaan. Morgen zal weer alles van een leien dakje gaan. Morgen zal weer alles van een leien dakje gaan. Morgen zal weer alles van een leien dakje gaan. Morgen zal weer alles van een leien dakje gaan. Morgen zal weer alles van een leien dakje gaan. Morgen zal weer alles van een le
totalists in the Bartia commune. Yes, yes. Read about it if you want. It's only India, after all. Mobilization prep is done. Let's see. Prepare the inundation lines is what we want to do next there, but I'm going to detour a bit and focus down the political route. The Red Scare. We're just going to, for the moment, cracking down on the socialists hard. The threat that the forces of socialism and treacherous syndicalism pose to our way of life cannot be underestimated. It is time that we began making this clear to the people, if not already grasped a fact as basic and immutable as gravity itself. Which will just drop the popularity of all socialism by a ton. Good for us. Very, very good for us. Passive sonar is done. So we'll get a depth charge thrower. It looks like the Bulgarians are holding strong, but I have seen it where it looks like Bulgaria is winning, yet somehow they lose a whole bunch of land as a result, even though they held everything they started with and even took some off their enemies. Still don't get how that works, but hey. Jabal Shamar annexed that rebel state as they were fighting. Placement for the Governor-General. The Governor-General of the Dutch East Indies has announced his intention to resign, having waited for the election to do this so that the new governor could appoint the new government could appoint the new Governor-General without the need of him being replaced within half a year, which would, in De Jonge's eyes, be harmful for the stability of the Indies. Multiple candidates have come forward, but only one can become Governor-General. Okay, we have the balanced candidate, the one who will keep the inlanders under control by force. Now, we might be turning the Netherlands into a repressive military dictatorship, but we're not stupid. If things in our colony are as unstable as they seem to be, then it would make sense for us to keep it balanced and put in the candidate who's going to try to take a reasoned, balanced approach, rather than the one who is effectively just going to want to occupy them. So we'll put in the balanced candidate, I think. And just having a look over here, Germany appears to be doing quite well against the Indo-Chinese Union. Looks like we're not going to see China here fall to syndicalism this time around. which does happen from time to time, Germany managing to hold them back is not so outlandish as, say, Mannerheim becoming military dictator of Finland and declaring their total neutrality. But it is rare, also. Oh, and Mexico has joined the Third Internationale, so the syndicalists have a foothold in the Americas now. Their alliance grows, and the Civil War is probably going to keep going for some time yet. Speaking of Civil War, it would appear that the Union State has managed to fully occupy Virginia. Which they don't start with under their control.
We slapen in een bedstee, maar 's nachts neem ik mijn bed mee. Want hele keversharen, die rooiden 's nachts mijn haren op het nieuwe Malta zwaren. Geef mij mijn huis en mijn tuintje, daar schijnt de zon. I don't know how well this is gonna go, but I'm actually going to try a 50-50 shot at infiltrating the French Socialists' army. It may not go my way, but I'm going to try it. We will see how this turns out. We will see. I want to give it a go. Declaration of the Sublime Ottoman Federation. Oh, they went the Federation route, did they? Celebrations were held in Constantinople today as the Ottoman Chamber of Deputies officially proclaimed the creation of a new federal state within the lands of the Ottoman Empire. The Sublime Ottoman Federation. Its name was inspired by the imperial grandeur of old. It's based on the ideas of Prince Sabahatian and foreign influences from Germany, Austria, and American models alike. Although the new constitution shifts extensive powers to the level of provinces, many wonder if this will truly mean democracy or just a confirmation of the old aristocracy and their age-old positions. The Ottoman Empire turns over a new page, which is an interesting way to do things. I don't actually remember what that does, except Federation. Dan gaan we kijken naar het sprookje, lieve smaak. Let's see. I mean, there's the Sublime Federation National Spirit. They won't surrender as fast and they have more recruitable population, but I've never played as the Ottomans. And they had a major overhaul in an update a while back, but because the Ottomans have such a difficult position they start in, I never actually played as them, so I do not know what their situation is politically. I will try and play as them eventually, but because they're so difficult, I want to wait until I'm better at Kaiserreich and Hearts of Iron in general before I do that. But back on point, he had the Sutarjo petition in the House. As decided by Hendrik Cullen about a year ago, the Sutarjo petition has been brought up at the House of Representatives, calling for a Congress about the revision of the status of the Dutch East Indies, specifically towards the promotion of an equal status within the kingdom. The vote is held. The petition is... We accept it. Lose
5 stability. I only have 3, so that would put us in the negative. They get the event that is accepted, and we reject it. If you pick this option, it will be you who will lead the conference when the time comes for it, rather than the local government. In the meantime, the strength and unity of the independence movement will rise, making it less likely that this moment will ever come. Yeah, this is going to push down our stability as a result, but I'm going to accept the proposal. We want to hold on to our colony, and this seems like the ideal way to do that. It's by accepting this petition, even if it will make us a little unstable in the short term. Formation of the Moscow Accord. For 2 decades, the Russian Republic was seen as a secondary power on the global stage. Dismantled after the Weltkrieg, it could no longer pose a threat to German political hegemony in Eastern Europe, nor to Japanese ambitions in the Pacific. Since then, however, Russia has rebounded and once again lays down its ambitions. Russian diplomats have officialized a military and economic alliance aiming to unite all nations in Eurasia, not aligned with either Germany or the Internationale, although everyone is well aware that this Moscow Accord is merely an extension of Russia's sphere of influence. Russia seems not to buy the illusion either. Their expansionist rhetoric reveals that they will seek to restore the borders of the former empire with force. We've defeated them once, we will do it again. Well, Germany defeated them once. We sat around and just enjoyed the benefits of being neutral, actually. We most certainly did not send troops to fight Russia. Not a very Dutch thing to do, that. But with that, I think we're sitting at a nice place to end it. For today, we've had a few interesting occurrences thus far. Mexico joining the Internationale was kind of interesting, and we have our military dictatorship up and running. In the Netherlands, the East Indies are starting down the path to become a full and equal part of our kingdom. It would appear that Flanders is avoiding going down the path that will get them annexed, annoyingly. Not sure the AI is smart enough to annex themselves, sadly. We will see, though. In any case, thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this, please leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe to see more like this. See you next time, everybody.